Yeah, we're the Nicolas Brothers.
Oh, well, what do you do for a living?
Oh, we sing and we dance.
Hoping that those lucky numbers.
Harold Nicolas and Harold Nicolas, collectively known as the Nicolas Brothers, were two of the greatest dancers that ever lived, certainly the most beloved dance team in the history of entertainment. We're going to get into Harold's relationship with the talented, gorgeous actress Dorothy Dandridge and the horrible way he treated her and their daughter. Dorothy Dandridge was the first black woman to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress. Before we get into all that, let's start with their childhood and how they got started in the industry. Singers, dancers, actors, choreographers, the Nicolas brothers grew up in Philadelphia, the sons of musicians who played in their own band. Fayyad and Harold Nicolas, known collectively as the Nicolas Brothers, were arguably the best at what they did. Their coordinated tap routines were legendary, not only because they were great dancers, but their incredible ability to jump into the air and land in splits repeatedly. Their most famous routine comes from the movie Stormy Weather, the greatest dance sequence on film ever. They were managed by their mother, who was likely one of the first stage managers, Fayyad Antonio Nicolas. The eldest was born in their hometown of Mobile, Alabama, USA on October 20, 1914. And Harold Nicolas was born on March 27, 1921 in North Carolina, USA, to drummer and orchestra leader Ulysses Dominic Nicolas Jr. and pianist Viola Nicolas. The two college-educated musicians performed as the Nicolas Collegians. The Nicolas family traveled from city to city to play with various orchestras, but after the birth of two more children, Dorothy and Harold, they settled in Philadelphia in 1926 and continued working with the Nicolas Collegians. From the time Fayyad was an infant, his parents brought him to the theater for their practices and performances. There he gained an early education in show business by watching great entertainers such as jazz great Louis Armstrong and dancers such as Bill Robinson. He was completely fascinated by them and imitated their acrobatics, and he was constantly clowning for the kids in his neighborhood. Harold watched and imitated Fayyad until he was able to dance as well. In 1932, when Fayyad was 18 and Harold 11, the Nicolas brothers were signed as a featured act at Harlem's Courting Club, appearing on stage alongside the likes of Cab Calloway and Duke Ellington. The youngsters were an instant sensation, impeccably attired. Harold and Fayyad dazzled every audience that walked through the doors of the Courting Club. They made their Broadway debut in the Ziegfeld Follies of 1936. Stars such as singer Fanny Brice, the comedian Bob Hope, actress Eve Arden, and great dancer Josephine Baker. Nicolas brothers were part of a small group of black dancers who appeared frequently in Hollywood films of the 1930s and 40s. Their appearance in the short film Pie Blackbird led to a string of features in Hollywood motion pictures, including Kid Million's Stormy Weather. Due to the racist nature of that era, black performers never held any major roles in mainstream feature films, and unlike such top dancers as Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, the Nicolas brothers did not have the opportunity to try out their acting skills. Pretty sad. Unlike other black performers, however, they rarely donned service uniforms. They usually appeared in formal tie and tails or custom-made suits. One of their iconic films is The Stormy Weather. It was released in 1943 and featured an all-black cast. It's one of the few American musicals of the 20th century with an all-black cast. This film stars some of the most talented iconic artists of their time: Bojangles Robinson, Nina Hahn, Fats Weiler, Cab Calloway, Catherine Durham, and the Nicolas brothers. Dance skills showcased in this film Stormy Weather was exceptional. The brothers danced side by side on a flight of stairs, danced up a divided stairway built of gigantic white stairs, meet at the top to exchange a few thrilling moves, and then leap into splits and slide down separate ramps. meeting once again on the dance floor to finish this dazzling routine with a crisp bow. Do you know what's amazing about the iconic dance sequence in this famed stormy weather? It was unrehearsed and shot in just one take. The tap dancing duo were versatile. They could sing, act, and dance, and thus were considered a triple threat. In a career that spanned over 7 decades, the Nicolas Brothers performed in over 55 films. They were awarded the Kennedy Center Honors and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Some of their iconic students include Debbie Allen, Janet Jackson, and Michael Jackson. Let's take a closer look into their personal lives. Although their mother Viola was very protective of her sons, they already had a reputation for being womanizers. The brothers were married 3 times and they both cheated on their wives. Harold's first marriage was to the gorgeous, talented actress, singer, and dancer Dorothy Dandridge. They met at the Cotton Club in Harlem in 1938. They were married for 9 years. They dated for 1 year after getting together in September 1941 and married on the 6th of September 1942. Together they had a daughter, Harold Susan, who was born on September 2nd, 1943 with severe brain damage. Harold Nicolas was nowhere to be found when Dorothy Dandridge went into labor. He dropped her off at her sister-in-law's home while he went about to play golf, although he knew she was having labor pains. Dorothy wanted to wait until he returned before they went to the hospital, but when the pains became so intense, they left without him. She was in labor for 15 hours because she was trying to hold the child, waiting for her then husband Harold to arrive. Doctors said Dandridge withholding birth probably contributed to their daughter's brain damage, since Harold was largely absent during their childbirth ordeal and having affairs throughout their relationship. Dandridge finally filed for divorce after 8 years of marriage in 1950, and she raised her daughter as a single mother. Harold Nicolas had it all in Dorothy Dandridge. She was gorgeous, talented, loved him to life, willing to give up her career to become a housewife, yet he treated her and their daughter disgustingly and terribly. The story of Dorothy Dandridge was painfully heartbreaking and tragic. We'll get into that in a different video. Fayad and Harold Nicolas were extremely talented, iconic, and legendary. They were the greatest tap dancing duo in the world. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment. Have a wonderful, awesome, great, beautiful day.